Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to my channel. It's time to listen to another voicemail. This one is from an anonymous caller identifying himself as a PIMO. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Hi, so I would like to start this thanking you for this opportunity. I'm 21 and I'm a PIMO. I'm working on my plan to leave the organization, but there's so many things to think about, so many research, and this led me to one question. Uh, okay, this is not the true religion, and maybe there's no such thing, but what this religion has of special, like to reach these marks, like the most magazine printed in the world, the website with more languages, and so on. This religion seems to have the capacity to convince people to dedicate all their lives to this like no other. It's intriguing to me, and I'd like to know your thoughts about this. Thanks again. Bye.
Well, thank you for that message. That's interesting because you identify yourself as PIMO, PIMO meaning physically in, mentally out. So in other words, you are a 21-year-old Jehovah's Witness who no longer believes that it's the true religion. However, your question sort of hints that you're not fully convinced. You're reverting to some of the arguments that the organization makes for being God's one and only true organization. Oh, look at how many languages we're translating our website and our materials into. Look at how fabulous the organization is in printing and so on and so forth. These are criteria that the organization is pointing to, knowing that you're not going to objectively compare their claims with other organizations. It could be that it is the most translated website. I haven't done any real digging into that, but okay, it's the most translated website. So what? How does that make it God's one true organization? You have an organization with 8.5 million followers dotted around the world. They are tasked with recruiting people into the organization in their respective languages. You have an infinite pool of volunteers to draw from. You're not paying them. You can rely on them working really hard to support your agenda and to produce materials in whatever language is needed. How is this evidence that this is God's one true organization? Same thing with printing, same thing with building new facilities. This is, quite frankly, the fruit of human endeavor. When people care enough about something, they're going to get it done. If it's within the realms of possibility, if it's physically possible for humans to achieve something, working together towards a common goal, yeah, all of this can be achieved. Doesn't make it God's one true organization. Is all of this really being done to help people, or is it being done to recruit them into a cult? And what other research have you done into what other religions are doing, into what the Mormons are doing, into what the Catholics are doing? There are any number of other organizations that will have a presence in different countries, one way or the other, will have volunteers committed to helping that organization in those different countries. Might not be exactly the same look and feel as the Jehovah's Witness organization, but they're still doing something. And again, how on earth, what relevance does this have in any way, shape or form as to whether it's true? I would suggest that what you have here is a situation where you realize that it's not the truth. You realize that it manifestly can't be God's one and only true organization, but you're not fully out. You're not as mentally out as you like to perhaps think you are. And there's no shame in that, by the way, because that describes many people watching this video. This indoctrination is so potent that it can stay with you for years or decades, even after you've reached some kind of realization that it's not true. It can stay with you. I've spoken on my channel about earlier in 2020, with the pandemic, we had an earthquake. I'm talking months before the current earthquakes, which is why I'm not in the bunker at the moment. And just for a few split seconds, I'm not ashamed to admit that for a few split seconds, your brain is going, oh, Armageddon bingo, you know? Pandemics, check. Earthquakes, check. It's inevitable, isn't it? Because you've been raised this way. It's been part of your indoctrination since you were a child to do this box ticking exercise, not just in terms of signs of the last days, but also in terms of organizational accomplishments. And you never stop and think for a moment, hang on, isn't it true that many organizations can accomplish things in different languages? And actually, some organizations are accomplishing far more impressive things that really do benefit humanity without any strings attached and without demanding people's subjection and loyalty. Think about how quickly we now have multiple vaccines for the coronavirus pandemic within a year of scientists starting work on it. Vaccines available and being dispersed around the world to help people without any strings attached, without the scientists saying, we'd like you to follow us, without the government saying, we're going to give you the vaccine, but there's a few things we need from you in return. That's the nature of the Jehovah's Witness organization. It's not just this entirely benevolent thing where they, oh, wow, you're giving me a magazine. Oh, wow, you're giving me a website. That's so generous of you. You know, that's clearly not how it works. The magazine has been printed to make you follow the organization and to persuade you to essentially give your life to the organization to the point of dying if needed. Same thing with the website. So if we're going to talk about accomplishments, let's first of all objectively measure them against what other organizations are doing, again with a bit of ingenuity and a bit of effort, a bit of passion on the part of those involved. And let's also measure against actual benefits to the recipients of these efforts. Is it really being done to further humanity? Is it really being done to help people? Or is it just being done as a means of controlling people? And that's what we have with the Jehovah's Witness organization. But I would recommend, first of all, it's brilliant that you've managed to start taking these steps of getting out at such a young age of 21. But if even I can revert to my cult indoctrination at the age of 41, and despite being probably one of the most outspoken apostates, don't you think it's worthwhile making double sure that you've done your research and that you're giving yourself the mental tools and the mental resources to resist some of these arguments yourself, you know? There's no shame in realizing that when we're not fully out, even someone like me, it's possible for this indoctrination to continue to have a hold on us, and the one and only cure, the one and only vaccination against this toxic ideology and its residual effects is research. Keep doing that research. You need to give your subconscious the tools it needs to be able to deflect all of this stuff. So I hope my advice there has been useful in some way, shape or form. If you would like to leave a voicemail, the thing to do is visit speakpipe.com/ Seeders, remembering to indicate clearly if you don't want me to play your message on my channel. But that's all we have time for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for more such videos. And as always, thank you for watching.